On a cold, dreary night in the quiet town of Riverton, a chilling crime occurred. The victim, Anna Sanders, a kind-hearted schoolteacher, was found lifeless at the base of an old stone staircase leading up to the town's abandoned clock tower. Around her were clues seemingly telling the story of her final moments, 13 steps that led to her tragic death. The main suspect quickly emerged, Robert Miller, a man with a history of obsessive behavior. Robert and Anna knew each other, but his fixation on her grew increasingly disturbing. Friends of Anna spoke about her unease around Robert, how he would often watch her from afar, follow her home, and try to approach her despite her attempts to avoid him. On the night of the crime, Anna stayed late at school to prepare materials for her students. It was a cold evening, and she decided to take a shortcut home through the old clock tower square. Unbeknownst to her, Robert had been following, waiting for the right moment. As she neared the clock tower, Robert emerged from the shadows, confronting her. The argument escalated. Robert, angered by seeing Anna walking alone at night, pushed her toward the staircase. In a moment of rage, he shoved her down the steps. Anna's body was found by a passerby early the next morning, her face still showing the shock of that final, tragic moment. The scene was chaotic. Her bag lay scattered, and the papers she was carrying fluttered across the square. The old staircase, with its 13 worn steps, seemed almost symbolic, as if each step represented a piece of her shattered life. Detectives began the investigation by speaking to Anna's friends and colleagues, all of whom pointed to Robert as a potential suspect. Robert claimed he was at home, alone, watching TV. However, when detectives checked security cameras near the square, they found footage of Robert lurking near the clock tower on the night of the murder. His alibi quickly fell apart. Detectives also found several unsettling letters at Anna's home, letters from Robert expressing his twisted love for her, his obsession with her walking alone, and his desire to make her understand. With clear evidence, Robert was brought in for questioning. During interrogation, Robert initially denied everything, but under pressure from the detectives and the mounting evidence, he eventually confessed. He admitted to pushing Anna, calling it a moment of madness, saying he never intended for it to end this way. His face was pale, his eyes empty, as he recounted that night how he had watched her take each of those 13 steps, how he had hoped she would finally listen to him, and in his rage, he took everything from her. Robert Miller was charged with second-degree murder. The trial was swift, and the community of Riverton watched in somber silence as justice was served. The staircase to the clock tower was later sealed off, a quiet memorial to the young woman who lost her life there. Flowers were placed at the base of the steps, and a small plaque was installed to honor Anna, reminding everyone of the tragic consequences of unchecked obsession.